What is up, Jamily? This is JamiroFan 2000 here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, where I talk about the 25-year musical history and the topicality of the current and past JAMIROQUAI. And I thought I'd do a few episodes of JamiroFan Talks About since I haven't done them in a while. And for this first episode, I thought I'd talk about the recent cancellations of the Automaton Tour. JAMIROQUAI have had a very, very, very hard year so far with these cancellations that have happened during the Automaton Tour. And this isn't the first time. In the past, JK has had recurring back injuries that caused the band and him to cancel tour dates for their upcoming tour. And this happened, I think, 2 other times I can remember from watching me I haven't gone to a JamiroQUAI gig in such a long time, but having watched them from online. And the Automaton Tour had probably the largest amount of cancellations of any JamiroQUAI tour I can remember. But it all started back in May when JK was getting ready for his the third gig in the Automaton Tour, and he apparently fell at the Casino de Paris in Paris, France, and aggravated his back. The degree of his back injury was still unknown, but given how many dates they've canceled, and they've canceled, I believe, 5 to 6 dates so far in total. JK's back injury must have been very severe, because he's gone to the hospital 2 separate times and had back injections done. And I know a few people in my life who have had that kind of degree of at least a spinal deviating injury. And Derek McKenzie did a video talking about how much pain JK has been through. But, it's things like this happen, and it's very completely understandable that they had to cancel these tour dates, because we didn't want to see JK up on stage just in excruciating pain, performing live and just giving less of a performance that he knows he's capable of. But it's completely understandable that they had to cancel these tour dates. But hopefully JK is taking very good care of himself, and that later on, once he's completely recovered from this, and from all the indications that I've seen online, at least from fans, there is a distinct chance JamiroQUAI might actually be able to make their tour dates in July. Fingers crossed. Okay, if I was JK and I was in the band making the decisions, given the severity and the recurringness of JK's back injury, it would be, what they did was, actually JK did try his back out to see how he would do in a live performance post-injury. JamiroQUAI ended up going to Kazakhstan and playing a gig, or a paid private gig, at the Ritz-Carlton in Astana, Kazakhstan. And some fan videos got out from that performance, and JK clearly was on stage in a lot of pain. He was doing his best to perform, but you could clearly see him physically. He couldn't hop around the stage. He couldn't saunter across the stage. He couldn't do the traditional JK performance that we've all gotten to know over the last few decades of his live performance. But clearly JK wasn't at a point where he could go back into touring again. But there is a good chance that, as I said, if I was making the decisions of the band, I would see if JK should test himself out. Try doing the July tour dates, and if his back is still not 100%, I would like to see the band cancel all their August tour dates, have JK rest up, and be much stronger than he was, and then go back to touring full stop around November and December, because JamiroQUAI do have a good amount of tour dates in November and December, and then of course in December is the makeup dates for the O2 Arena 10th anniversary gig. So that's what I'd like to see JamiroQUAI do, at least for JK's back, for the sake of JK's injury and the live touring. But I understand a lot of my fellow fans spent a lot of money, flew halfway, a third of, partially around the world to see JamiroQUAI live for this tour, and a lot of fans have been disappointed by these cancellations. But this is to be expected. If JK is not 100% and he's in a lot of pain, then this is expected to happen. But JK has actually been very gracious in giving apologies to all the Asian fans, all the French fans, everybody who's been affected by these tour cancellations. The Asian dates being canceled, the O2 Arena gig. JK has put out very eloquent and very honest explanation letters and apologies for these cancellations by JamiroQuai, and actually giving updates every one of these press releases that he's put out about how his back is doing and where he thinks where he physically is right now. So we can't, fans who say, the small minority of fans that say that JK is just floundering and not being honest and forthcoming and transparent about his current injury, that's total BS. JK has been completely honest with all the fans. So everybody can't be happy. So, I'll leave it at there. But hopefully JamiroQuai will be back to touring sometime in July, August, or in the future. So hopefully I'll be coming back here on the channel and having very, very positive news about the remaining Automaton tour dates, and that JamiroQuai is back and will be absolutely entertaining everybody in the Jamly at all the upcoming tour gigs for the Automaton Tour. So I thought this would be a first good JamiroFan Talks About video to do for the channel, to talk about the tour and how things have been going and how JK's been doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again really soon with another JamiroFan Talks About episode. Bye, everybody.